You're listening to Excellence Above Talent, a podcast where we have the hard conversations about the lives of men and what leads us to achieve greatness and suffer defeat. Hear from other men's journeys as well, as we all learn and grow together to become inspirations to ourselves and those around us. And now your host, Aaron Thomas.
Beautiful people, Aaron Thomas with Excellence Above Talent. Here with a great man, good friend. This man does a lot for the community. I love his attitude, his spirit. It's just he's awesome energy to be around. Chef Alejandro. Chef, tell us about yourself.
Thank you. That's a beautiful intro.
Yeah, sure. You're welcome, man.
Big props. Thank you. Alejandro Barrientos, born and raised here in Odessa, Southside, stand up. You know I grew up here, school here, everything. So I started my whole culinary degree and everything here in Odessa and Midland, West Texas area, actually. And started as a food truck. Me and my wife co-owned a food truck. And we were blessed enough to start a restaurant, and we're still keep on going.
Yeah. Awesome, man. And we'll talk more about that later on in the podcast. But right now, first thing first, this podcast was created to help build high-value men, have conversations that most men don't have. So men can listen to these conversations and hopefully get something from these conversations that we're having. Yeah. So the first question I have for you is, do you think society cares about men issues?
I think they care, but they're not out there as much as other issues and everything else that comes in play. I think as men, we kind of have this maybe stereotype or around us of machismo, especially in like Hispanic community, machismo. You hear that as a little kid growing up. Sounds macho, no llores, be a man, don't cry. Yeah. And so I think there is issues out there that have been talked about, but just not as openly or as available as all the other issues out there.
Yeah. And you think that's just because men don't want to talk about it, or is it because society's like, if men start talking about it, we get made fun of, or, kind of get pushed to the back of like, you're not really a man for like crying about these issues?
I think it's a two-way street.
Okay.
Because there is some men that, I hear a lot like, hey man, if you ever need any help, talk to me, or anything else you need, a shoulder cry on or anything, or even you have like a best friend or a really good friend or even a brother or something like that, and you can tell their energy's off or they're off, they're not their usual self. You put yourself available. You're like, hey man, what's up? Oh no, nothing. I'm good. No, like, you all right? You going through something? You want to talk about it? And most of the time you'll get shut down. Yeah. And that's not saying that you're not available for them or you're not doing it genuinely. Yeah. You're coming from a good place, you're doing it, and then it'll kind of get swept out on the rug and be like, no, man, I'm good. Let's go drink a beer. Let's go do what we were going to do anyways. Yeah. And so it kind of gets swept on the rug, and that issue persists. And then something bad happens, or, they go down a dark path. Yeah. And then they look back at it as like, well, nobody really helped me out. Nobody was there for me. Like, dude, I was, I asked you.
I was available, but there was a fear factor of you being open with me.
And then also that fear factor, how you said about society not making it available as men, you kind of get looked at a little different. Mm-hmm. And if you tell somebody, I'm going to therapy, or I'm, doing some stuff to help myself and get myself right, and either meditate or pray, or, whatever, however you want, or even I have some friends that picked up hobbies just to get, their mind right and their peace and everything else like that. Yeah. And some of the hobbies aren't what you would call traditional men hobbies. Yeah. It's not, shooting guns or racing or something like that. It might be something totally cooking. What's crazy during the pandemic, so many people have picked up cooking. Yeah. And either cooking or baking, something in the kitchen, and they do this like therapy, like that. What they've told me, it's like therapy. It's relaxing. It's calming. And so, and it's soothing. And that's not something you really hear guys talk about. Like, hey, you know what, man, my brioche buns
Yeah,
are
yeah.
coming out. You know what, brother, my key. What's wrong? What's wrong, man? Oh man, my quiche Florentine is not rising
Yeah.
and it's not setting up how it should be. Let me tell you how to fix that.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
again, society has the stereotype on men, but I think it's a two-way street because there is help out there.
Yeah.
There is help, and most of the time it's your closest friends and family that reach out to you to
Mm-hmm.
help. But if you don't take that help, or you don't sit back and reflect, like, oh, you know what, he was being genuine,
Yeah.
or I probably could tell him some of my problems, and he could maybe not relate, but at least I can vent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's half the problem is when you vent, you release so much.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I might not even have an answer for your problems.
Yeah.
I might not even have an input because I was never in those shoes. I can't put myself in your shoes.
Yeah.
But just by you venting to me, afterwards you're like, man, you know what? I feel pressure
Yeah.
off my shoulders
Off
because
your shoulders.
I vent all the time, and I'm pretty sure you vented to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like not even finding the solution to that problem,
Mm-hmm.
but you just released all that bad energy and
Yeah.
all that worry, and you're like, damn, I feel good.
I tell people when you come to this podcast is built to heal because you're having conversations that you might not have had, and you're putting yourself out there for the world to see.
Yeah.
So to me, I think there's healing in talking about the issues that you have
Oh yeah.
that is going on in your life because one, you're not the only one going through them.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of other people going through the same issues you're going through, and if you talk about it, somebody might get that help that
they can relate.
that they need, or that push to keep pushing them forward or whatever.
Yeah.
So
And I think a lot of times we're too much focused on the solution.
got you
I want the black and white solution.
for sure.
But sometimes the solution is just talking about it, just venting and letting go
Yeah,
of some of those things, and then talking in your head and actually, speaking to somebody, you start realizing things. I don't know if this ever happened to you. You start talking to somebody about a problem. You're like, you know what? No, it's this, and you solve your own problem by talking
100%.
about it. So I think a lot of that is communication.
I'm a big believer in we have all the answers that we ever need inside of us right now.
Yeah.
Like everything that we need, all the problems, solutions to the problems that we have in our life is in us right now. And in order for us to get to those solutions, we have to talk about the issues that are going on in our lives for us to find like that solution to that problem.
Yeah.
I'm just a big believer in that.
Yeah, I strongly agree. When I used to work in the oil field, there was this old man who was freaking mean. He was mean. He was oh man, he was tough on us. Right?
Yeah.
But I got some really good words of advice, and I still use that to this day, and I always remember him. And so, like, he was like the foreman, so people would always come to him with problems,
Yeah.
And so, if you're new and you see everybody going to him with problems, so you start saying, okay, if I have a problem, I go to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody had any little problem, they went to him. And one day I had a problem. I went out to him, I'm like, hey, this pipe doesn't want to fit. I don't know what's going on. And he goes, God damn it, Alejandro. He got pissed. He's like, look. He goes, from now on, every time you come at me with one problem, I want two solutions.
Got you.
He goes, I don't care what they are, just two solutions. I'm not saying the best solution to come at me with two solutions, because the same thing you're going to do is I'm going to do. I'm going to think about the problem.
Yeah.
Now, if I think about it, I come up with two solutions. Now we got 4 solutions to choose from.
Yeah.
So there's no problem.
I like that, man.
And I was like, and he goes, now you said this pipe doesn't fit.
Yeah.
All right. What are your two solutions? I said, well, we can wait and get the adapter and make it work, or we can cut it, weld it, and put a joint on there. He goes, all right, do you see a welder by here? I said, no, we don't. Well, I guess we got to wait for the part. He goes, order that fucking part and keep on working. You're like, you're like, oh, well, shit. And he goes, so there's no problem.
Yeah.
He goes, it would have been better for you just to solve on your own. And I would have came back and said, hey, why is this, part not there? Oh, it's because it doesn't fit. But don't worry, I already solved it. I'm getting a part in here.
Gotcha.
And then I would have been, hey, well, why didn't you weld it? There's no welder here.
Yeah.
Okay, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
But I still use that same mentality to like problems at work or problems at the house or personal problems, whatever it is. I always try to come up with at least 2 solutions to whatever it is, and they don't have to be the
Great
best.
solutions.
Yeah, they don't have to be great solutions.
Just solutions.
Just come up with a solution. Or you're talking to your buddies and like, hey man, I have this problem, and they might have 2 solutions. So that's 4. Imagine you have a group of friends.
Yeah.
All of them come up with different solutions. So now you got, there is no problem.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like we shut we make our world so small.
Yeah.
And we make these problems so big that, there is no problems. There's nothing but solutions.
I think men have an issue with that, where we make our world so small, our problems so big, and then we're afraid to go out there and talk to other people, other men, counselors, wife, because there's a stigma of, if I do, I'm going to be weak as a man. And then we build pressure, unnecessary pressure that men put on each other or put on themselves because of all the things they're trying to carry without, unburden that load and like talking about it or getting help from someone else. And I think that's, one reason why men are 3.5 times more likely to commit suicide than women.
Yeah.
There's 132 suicides that happen daily. 94 are men.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is an alarming rate of how men are dying from suicide daily. I mean, just think about yesterday, 94 men died from suicide.
And the crazy thing, that statistic isn't just men in the United States, or it isn't just men, Christian men or Catholic men. Because I think a lot of times we try to categorize it, or it's just an American problem, or just a Mexico problem, or this happening. No, this is all races, all ethnicities, all religions. It's men is the underlying factor in
Facts.
it. So that's crazy to think of. And so when you think you're alone, you're not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone whatsoever. There's somebody that's going through the same thing you are.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of that is the stereotypical, and then you don't want to see vulnerable.
Yeah.
Who likes being vulnerable, And I think sometimes when you ask for help, you're like, man, the vulnerability comes out, the chink in the armor. I think every man tries to at least feel like Superman in front of their, wives' eyes or kids' eyes or their co-workers or whoever, and you don't want to seem weak. But asking for help is one of the strongest things you can do. Because it is hard, especially for a man to tell another man, hey, man, this is the problem that I'm going through. And I really don't know what to do. Man, that takes some strength. And I think we need to kind of reverse the narrative on there of asking for help is actually strength. And it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of mental strength and endurance, because it does take a lot. Man, I hate asking somebody for help for jumping my car,
like little things,
or even a flat tire. You don't want, I'm like,
sure.
Hey, dude, I left my jack at the house.
Can you come help me out?
You know what, man? I got it. I'm just put a rock underneath there. So, you know what I mean? So
I'm gonna try to pick it up myself.
I'm gonna try to pick it up. I'm sorry to bother you, man. You live like 2 minutes away. I'm so sorry.
My bad.
You know what? I'm unthoughtful. But it's the truth. But how many of your friends right now, they called you, say they had a flat? You'd be like, dude, I got you. I got spare, anything else. But that help is there, but we're not using it, And it's a great metaphor and reference, but I've had that happen a bunch of times, where I was like, fuck, I don't have the right tool to do this. I don't want to bother them. And that's the biggest thing. We think we're a bother or inconvenience or a burden on them, which they'd rather come and help us out than know we're stranded on the side of the road for an hour.
Yeah. So this is a question, because I think men have a hard time cultivating relationships because of this issue right here, of us not wanting to ask for help, like being afraid to seem vulnerable or needy, and so we don't really have deep relationships with other men because there's a fear factor there. So, we talk about sports or our hobbies or anything, but anytime it gets to the nitty gritty, or when we talk about deep stuff, no one's there, or we try to pull back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm different.
Okay.
You can ask some of my friends and family, and this doesn't just go for guys or, my core group of friends.
Yeah.
Or if you know me or anything else, man, don't come around with me and tell me your dreams or your ambitions or anything else. Because I might ask you about them. Hey man,
100%.
you chasing it? Hey man, are you doing it? Hey, how's that going? Are you doing this, and this?
Yeah.
Or if you tell me, hey man, I want to get into, I don't know, whatever it is, I want to get into making clothes.
Yeah.
Hey man, there's this company that sells shirts. You know, I have this friend on Facebook, Instagram. They actually make clothes,
Yeah.
and you can check them. You know what I mean? We're always talking about how to better one another. Or if you tell me your dream is to, you know, learn how to cook or
Yeah.
do something like this, I'm gonna support you, and then I'm gonna bring it up too, because I'm gonna kind of check you on it. Like, hey man, how's that cooking going? Oh man, I haven't done it in a while. Why not, man? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have time. Oh man, that's bullshit. You know, that's bullshit.
Yeah. You make time for it.
You
if
can make
want
time.
to.
I just seen your Instagram, man. You were partying
Yeah,
last
yeah.
week. You know what I mean? You're bullshit.
Yeah.
You're on Facebook, your stories, man. I'm your boy. You know, right now we're bullshit, but we could be cooking. You know,
Yeah.
so it's one of those things where, and in building that bond with somebody else, it's like all my friends, I tell them I love them, and that's one thing you don't really hear. You know, even when I talk to my brother, I hang up right before, hey man, I love you, man. You be careful. You know, anything else. My little nephew, all my friends, hey, love y'all guys. Y'all be careful. You know, whatever. Because I feel like we have to show that emotion and start kind of changing the narrative
Yeah.
of like, hey, you know, my uncle never told me he loved me. You know, like my little nephew being like, as growing up, or, you know, man, my uncle was a real good guy, but he never showed me affection, or he never once told me he loved me. Like, I knew he loved me, but he never told me, you know. And so I want him to be like, no, he always tells me he loves me. You know, he's always spoiling me, or he's always doing this, and this. And so as with my friends too, you know, hey man, you be safe, and I love you. If you need anything, give me a call.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where you never know what's going to happen, and you don't want to live with that regret.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, they never knew how much we actually cared for them, loved them, or support.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's like I said, we have to be open for people and be there for them.
Yeah.
And that's the last excuse to be like, you know, I can't talk to Alejandro because he's either too busy or he never asks. You know, he's too busy with his shit.
Yeah.
I'm always asking people about their own stuff. So
you can always make the time in the day to help someone else out in need and still do the things that you need to do.
Yeah, man, a 5-10 minute conversation on your drive home.
Yeah.
Check up on your friends, check up on your loved ones. You know, we all have downtime. We all have. That's why, you know, YouTube, TikTok, and all those things are so popular because you have
that downtime.
That downtime. Send a text. Send a text to your friend. If you know your friend's going through some, send a text. Hey, brother, how you doing? You know, whatever. You want to have lunch one day or anything else like that. And that's one of those things too, where I think as men we don't send that invitation because we don't want to make it weird.
Yeah.
Or something.
Why do we assume that it's weird to reach out to another man? Because I sometimes find no, I don't. I can reach out to somebody and say, hey, let's go have lunch. But like, there's a lot of dudes that just wouldn't reach out to say like, man, I want to go have lunch or just like talk.
Yeah. Yeah. But
like, why do we make it weird?
That's what I'm saying. But it's out there, you know.
It's
people are like, hey man, have you talked to so and so? No, I haven't talked to him. Hit him up, man. Tell him roll by. We're gonna barbecue or have some beers or whatever. No, man, you message him. Why would it be weird? You know, hit him up. Hey man, you want to come hang out? Come talk. We're gonna chill, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You know, you want to go have lunch at this new restaurant open up or whatever. You want to go check it out, and we got to make it normal.
Yeah.
And that's what being friends are for, right?
For sure.
It's not just, hey, we just meet up on the weekends and party and that's it. You know,
drink and then forget about everything that we talked about, you know, while drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, because I have lofty goals when drinking. I want to change the entire world, and I want to do this and this and this, and then you know, then you wake up and it's like, I don't remember anything I just said.
Yeah. So and then I feel as a lot of times you got to check your friend circle because we want to do stuff that's counterproductive.
Got you.
When we hang out.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool to chill and barbecue and drink and whatever.
Yeah.
But when's the last time you guys sat down and had like
a real conversation?
Or hey, how's that business plan going?
Got you.
Or how's your goals going? Or this and this, or your therapy, or whatever your business. I have a lot of friends that wonder, how's your business going? Man? Anything I can help with? You need help with vendors or whatever, you know, or just a vent.
Yeah.
But so a lot of times I think when we hang out, we have to do something that's counterproductive.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense, man. All right, so going back to the suicide rate, why do you think it's so high in men versus women? Like, what do you think some of the issues are?
We keep a lot of shit to ourselves.
Okay.
we keep a lot of our emotions. We're shown at an early age, not just by our family, society, everything else. We're shown not to show our emotions, not to be vulnerable, not to be outspoken with our emotions. Let's at a workplace. Let's say a female at a workplace, just for no reason starts crying. Starts crying. Maybe 4 to 5 people come up to, "Are you okay? What's wrong? What's wrong, Janice or whoever it is?" Flip that to men start crying. 4 to 5 people like, "Hey, no, don't go over there. He's going through some shit."
Or he's being weird because he's crying.
He's being, "Hey man, give him space." Give him space. And so in reality, in our own mind is probably the most dangerous place to be when we're at that level in our lives.
That mindset
that mindset is people are like, "Oh no, he just needs space to be alone." And that's honestly one of the things guys say, "Hey, I just need my space. I need give me some space to think about it." But that's the most dangerous, because your mind will play its own tricks on you, and then you'll start believing false things, and once your mind starts going, your body follows. And then that's the opposite of what we need. We actually need support. We need people to talk to. We need that core group of friends or that support system to tell us, to support us and tell us everything's going to be okay, and go through it and talk about it in a conversation. So I think that's one of the biggest things. And we climb up, once you start talking about the trauma or what you're going with, you're like, "Nah, you know what? I don't have time for this shit." And you walk away or you get mad, or one of the emotions that we use is anger. I think men use anger more than anything, and so with that emotion, we shut people off, and we kind of push people away, and people that try to help us out, and we use anger because it's a coping mechanism.
It is.
At the end of the day, it's one of the coping mechanisms that we use to kind of help with that trauma, but it's actually just making it worse.
And I've heard, and I've researched and learned that anger is not really the emotion that you feel.
No.
Anger is just kind of what you do so that you can mask the true emotion that you feel.
It's the easiest.
It could be frustration, it could be hurt, you could be in pain, and because you don't want to show any weakness, it turns all to anger. And this is my thing. People run around, "Oh, dudes, just angry dudes, this, dudes, or that." And I'm like, no, like, it's deeper than that. If you see an angry young boy or an angry man, he is going through something. There's something that he's going through, something that he's not talking about. Like, he feels shame, or there's something that he's going through for him to walk around and be so damn angry. But no one's really like, they just think, "Oh, he's just an angry dude," and it's like, that's not it.
It goes back to not knowing how to express yourself.
100%. Okay.
Because how do you express worry? As a man, how do you express shame? Heads up. We're not taught to be in one with our emotions. We're not taught to show our emotions. The emotions we know, the easiest is anger. You can
I can punch a hole in the wall, throw phones, I can break things.
I can, how you said, punch a hole in the wall. I can do all these things, but I don't know how to show, how to show worry. I don't know how to show worry. I know how to show anger. So it's one of those easiest emotions for us as men to show. And again, it's just masking all the other stuff that's going. But again, if you don't open up and say, "Hey, you know what? I do have these demons. I do have these problems. I want to work on it." There's no amount of therapy, no amount of friends that want to help you, no amount of money. Because a lot of these issues, people think, "Oh man, if I just had the money, if I just had the money, it would go away." But no amount of money, friends, alcohol.
Hell, Robin Williams had money, and he still ended up, I think hanging himself or killing himself. So I mean, the money isn't where it's at. It's the head, the head space.
It's to fix that one issue. Or maybe you can't fix it, but you learn how to deal with it, and you learn how to cope with it, and you start realizing all these little triggers. And you know what? I'm starting to feel this way. This way is going to lead me into depression. So the way I cope with that is therapy. Or hanging out with friends, or you find coping mechanisms to steer you away from depression or anxiety or suicidal thoughts. But usually by the time we start realizing those, you're already there. It's way, way too late. You ignored them because our own body will show you, our own body, your feelings, your energy. will start showing you, hey, you're getting depressed.
Yeah.
Why am I not eating?
You're heading down this path.
Yeah, you're heading down it. Well, I can't sleep at night. Your mind's racing, or whatever it is, but we ignore them.
Yeah, man. So one thing that I've experienced now, going through a divorce and being open and vulnerable, and letting people in on my issues, my demons. Some people assume it's me playing like the victim.
Okay.
Right. And so because I'm expressing myself, because I'm being open, because I'm just like, man, I've been dealing with this stuff, my whole entire life. And now if I'm dealing with it, I know other men are dealing with it. So I just want to talk about it and be more open about it. Some people come off as like, oh, you're just trying to play the victim. You're trying to make yourself out to be the guy who you want people to look down on or have pity or things towards you, and it's it's not even that. But I also see why men don't open up and be honest and vulnerable, is because that's another way of someone saying oh, you're playing the victim. If you know me, there is no victim in me. I would rather die than be a victim. Which is a crazy thing to say as a man, but I would rather not be here than to have someone think I'm just trying to play the victim or be the victim, because at the end of the day, that's how much I don't want to be the victim. And so then there's that scary part of why open up and be vulnerable, because if I do, then people just assume I'm a victim. So
I think part of the reason you're doing it is it's not for those people.
For sure.
Because I don't know if you remember that conversation we had a while back.
At the detention center?
At the detention center. Some of those people that you're doing it for isn't the audience that's watching it.
Gotcha.
It's not for them.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have the critics. You're always going to... Man, I can't tell you, I've had so many critics of when I do something from my heart, like give food away. Oh man, he's just giving food away. He's just doing it for recognition, blah, 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 blah. The same way you're talking about vulnerability. I'll get on my Facebook and on our business page, and I'll promote giving food away for free. I was like, okay, what backlash can I get from that?
Yeah.
I got so much backlash. I got people, oh man, he's not really like that, man.
Yeah.
This dude is, he's putting on a front. He's fake.
You.
How am I putting on a front or fake if I'm giving food away for free?
Yeah.
I don't want nothing in return.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just doing that for publicity. He's just doing it, blah, blah, blah. But the people that actually, those people aren't coming and picking up a plate.
For sure.
Those people aren't hungry. Those people have food in the fridge.
Gotcha.
Ask that to the people that come and get the food. Hey, what do you think about it? I don't even know that guy, but man, thank you.
I appreciate that guy.
I appreciate the shit out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
My belly's full too. You know what I mean?
How do you hear about it? Somebody told me on Facebook, or somebody, I saw it on the news, or I saw it in a newspaper.
Yeah.
Or one of my family members shared it to my Facebook, and that's how I knew to get here.
Yeah.
They don't care nothing about me. They don't even remember my name. Most of the time, they don't know. They just know that there's free food and they can fill up their bellies, and for their family, for their kiddos, that they're not going to go hungry that day.
And then the food is good too, which makes it even better. You feel me?
Yeah. We try, man. We try, but again, it goes to that. That's not my market. That's not who I'm aiming for.
I got you.
So it's we have to put all this out, and we have to accept the bad that comes with it as well. Because it'd be impossible for me to say, oh, okay, nobody's going to criticize me for this stuff.
For sure.
I'd be looking crazy if I believe that. I know I get criticism. I know I get people that badmouth me and tell me all this other stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm just giving food away for free. Or I'm just trying to help. Or I do a coat drive. Why do you help this organization when you didn't help this one? Why are you helping this non-for-profit? And what about this non-for-profit? And it's like, man, you can't just appreciate that I'm helping one non-for-profit. And
I can't help them all, but I mean,
I can't do everything, but I'm trying to help the ones that I can. But again, you go ask that non-for-profit, the people that use that non-for-profit, and they don't know where this donations came from. They don't care. They just appreciate that they have it. So I'm doing it for them. I'm not doing it for the people that criticize me. Now, when people say you're playing the victim role, I've heard the podcast. I've heard several of them. I know you, friends and everything. I've never once heard you say the victim mentality. Man, poor me. Why me? And if you start, studying the victim mentality and people like narcissists and everything else, it's always why me or poor me or the world is unfair just to me or look what happened to me, guys, and this you're saying no, I'm owning it. This happened to me because I did this.
Yeah, the decisions that I made created the chaos that was in my life, and so I can't blame anyone but myself.
And you're not looking for validation of did I do this right or you know what, I did do this that was wrong, but this is my reasons why I did it.
Yeah.
You're not trying to kind of validate your wrongs. You're like, no,
I'm not making excuses for it. It's just,
exactly.
Look, ownership of it.
Look, this is what I did, and it's wrong. I know it was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking at that time, but I did it, and I'm owning up, and I'm trying to make myself better.
Yeah.
So I think that whole victim mentality, there's not 1 ounce in it, in your blood. You know how we were talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're looking for that at all either.
I'm not looking for pity. I'm not looking for anyone to feel sorry for me because again, I put myself.
This is your story. This is your testament.
This is my walk. This is the journey that I'm going through or going on, and I think it's hard for men to have that conversation because we don't want to be the victim or we don't want to feel like people are looking at us like we're the victim because again, it sounds crazy, but I'm an extremist when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
Like, Will Smith said, if we get on the treadmill, if me and you get on the treadmill, I'm either going to keep going until you get off or I'm going to die. Right. And I think it's the same way. If I'm the victim, I would rather die than be a victim. Yeah. Like in my head, like that's my mentality. I would rather not be on this earth than to be a victim in my own head and in my own life. Like that's just not something like that's in me. Like I've been a victim before.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. The mindset that I was in wasn't a good mindset being a victim. And so I flipped it all on his head. Like I will never be the victim again because I understand mentally how weak that is from my standpoint or my viewpoint.
Even from then, like I said, you have been a victim. Mm-hmm. It's so hard and everything's so fast right now. Everything's going on so fast. Even if you do become a victim of certain things, it's all right.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
We get through it. The thing is not to keep that victim mentality.
Got you. Yeah.
Of feeling that the world owes you something
for sure
because you felt you were wronged in some type of way.
100%.
Or you know what, this happened to me, and now I shouldn't have to work as hard, or I shouldn't have to do this or that. And the world doesn't owe you shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't care if you're a victim.
Yeah.
And a lot of people stay in that victim mentality their whole lives.
Yeah.
Or for years, you have a gap of where you self-pity, self-swallowed, did all this drugs, alcohol, and all that, and it stems from that victim mentality. No, I'm gonna get drunk because this happened, or whatever.
Yeah.
But we gotta stay away from that mentality. I think that happens a lot, especially with men, because again, sometimes they feel like, oh, why me? Why me? And then they don't have nobody to talk to. Be like, look, it didn't just happen to you. It happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Or the reason why it happened to you is because you did this.
That's the path you went down.
That's the consequence of the choice that you made.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, nobody chooses your actions. You choose your own actions.
Yeah.
So the action that you took, this is the consequence.
Yeah, there are 3 philosophies that I live by, that I've learned over time. One, you are the creator of your atmosphere. Like you create the atmosphere that you're in. So if you don't like the atmosphere that you're in, create the one that you want.
Yeah.
The second thing is drama does not just walk into your life. You either invite it, you create it, or you associate with it. So if there's drama in your life, look at yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're the one who is allowing it to be in your life, or you're the one that's creating the drama. And the third thing is you're enough. I don't think men don't give themselves the credit that they deserve, or they're afraid to give themselves the credit that they deserve because they don't want to look like or seem like, they're doing above and beyond. Yeah. But even if you're doing above and beyond, you're still enough as a man.
Yeah.
And I don't think men hear that enough because, again, there's a stigma or there's a double standard.
Yeah.
Like if a woman is at the house and she's taking care of a kid, that's a good mother. But if a guy is at the house and he's taking care of his kid, that's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, is he not a good dad too?
Yeah.
Because when the moms do it, she's a good mom. How come when the dads do it, it's like, well, that's what he's supposed to do. He's
Yeah.
supposed to take care of his kid, and it's like, yeah, he is, but he's also still a good dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he still needs to hear that because that validation helps.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to letting a lot of energy that you don't need come in your circle.
Got you.
Because again, they can think whatever they want to think.
100%.
Because it goes back to let's say there's a single mom,
Mhm.
or there's a couple, and the mom works, and she's a little bit more successful than the man, and she's works a lot more hours and everything else. Everybody's gonna look at that woman and say, man, she's empowering.
Mhm.
She's a hustler. She's a grinder. Look at her going out there work. She's working more than her dude.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Flip the script and have the man be a little bit more successful than a woman.
Yeah.
He's a workaholic.
Yeah.
He's a workaholic.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't care about his family, man.
Yeah.
How the money's and everything.
Yeah.
So there is a double standard.
Yeah.
Everything else, but the people that are outside throwing those stones
Mhm.
aren't in your house, aren't in your kingdom. And
Yeah.
everybody, you're a god, you're a king of your own castle and
Yeah.
everything else. So as long as you have your castle and you know what's going on, and there's communication and everything else, then all that outside static or interference shouldn't even
Affect or bother.
you.
Got you.
Because if your girl has a better job than you, or her career,
Mhm.
and you're like, you know what, I'm in between careers, I really don't know what I want to do, and she goes, okay, well, you stay home with the kids and you help grow them and everything else.
Yeah.
And your girl goes and she's still with her career.
Yeah.
Both of y'all guys are okay.
Yeah.
We're in the understanding.
Mhm.
I'm gonna help her grow while she helps me grow, while I help develop the kids, and I find out what I actually want to do in my life.
Yeah.
Now, if your friends see that, or family members, man, he just stays at home with the kids.
Yeah. They start talking.
And then you and your girl didn't have a problem at first,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But then you get some of your friends, you get around some of your family,
Yeah.
they start, yapping at your ear, and then it starts interfering with your energy,
Mhm.
starts interfering with your private life,
Mhm.
and so now you're letting people
From the outside
affect
inside.
you,
Yeah.
which at first you're over 100% cool with.
Yeah.
And you actually really are. You just getting the energy from your family and friends. And a lot of that's just them projecting
Mhm.
their fears and their doubts onto you.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a real big thing of watching who you hang around with.
Got you.
Who's in your inner circle? Who's in your tribe?
Yeah.
We all have a tribe. And
Mhm.
they're going to help you build, or they're going to, tear you down.
Yeah.
And I see that so often. And like I said, I see that we let outside static and people that don't really matter to us, or care about our relationships, or
Yeah.
what our family, friends, business, whatever it is, affect us the most.
Yeah.
And
I think you can take that in even to like your mindset.
Yeah.
Like when dealing with your mind, you got a lot of the external things
Yeah.
affect your internal.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the external, you can't control anything of that nature. You can't control it.
If you go out there and you start working on yourself,
Mhm.
and you said, I'm gonna start meditating for 1 hour at the park.
Mhm.
1 hour at the park. People are gonna see you, and some people will be like, oh, look, he's meditating, that's good for him. Some people, man, that dude's crazy.
Yeah. He's weird.
He's weird.
Yeah.
And if you start hearing that, you know what? This is kind of weird.
Am I weird?
Am I weird? You know what? This is he's squirrel, and the squirrel comes up to you. Hey, squirrel, am I weird? But he's talking to animals, and you might have been doing that for like a month, and you're at a really good place.
Yeah.
But then you hear the whispers and people talking, and you know what? I think I'm gonna start meditating in my room.
Yeah.
And so they just took that joy and that whole progress. If you felt that good in a month, imagine a year,
Yeah.
2 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
And you just let outside people affect the way your mind and how you feel.
Yeah.
And I think that happens a lot, especially when we try to do self-growth
Mhm.
and self-improvement, how we talked about. Like, you could tell your friends, oh man, I started praying, or I started reading the Bible. They look at you weird. or you start talking about God, or you start talking about spirituality, or whatever you start talking about. A lot of friends, and they get uncomfortable. Oh man, you're not like that, dude. Whatever, man. Let's talk about football or whatever it is. So I think especially when you're doing self growth and self improvement, it's so important to be one with yourself or your partner if you have a supportive wife, and sometimes you don't, or your partner, you're in a really bad relationship. Okay, you focus on yourself, but only let the positive and your own opinions about yourself matter. If you want to go to the park and meditate and talk to squirrels and stuff, and it's helping you out,
that's what you should do.
That's shit. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I'll go with you. Fuck it. I'll take some peanuts or something.
We'll feed the squirrels together.
I'll help you, brother. If that's what helps you out, I'll go help you feed. I won't be supportive. We'll go feed the squirrels together. I'll talk to them too. Shit. You know what I mean?
I think that's a big issue in society that is happening now. I don't think people know about each other. There's like a sense of like fakeness. Because we run around here. How are you? How's your mom? How's your dad? But like I don't really know who that person is. And I know I've lost a few friends because of like now I want to have deep conversations. And I've been to places where it's like, oh, you got a podcast, or we're not on your podcast. I'm like, what are you talking about? I also realized, okay, I can't really be around those type of people because they, instead of, reaching out and saying like, hey, I appreciate you for, putting this stuff out there, they're making it seem like me talking about whatever I'm talking about on my podcast that week is a bad thing. So I had to like, take a step back and be like, you know what, like I don't need certain people I don't need in my life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Or I can, love them from afar, from a distance. I don't have to always be around like those people. So
exactly. I think a lot of times in our life we have to take inventory. Have to take inventory of our own life and see the people around us and who's with us and who's without us. And if you're always giving somebody like energy and talking to them, like you always have to cheer them up and this is, they're just seeing that whole mentality of a victim, and you're always there for a show. Hey, after a while, you need to show your crown too. You need to get that same energy and positivity you're giving somebody else.
You need to get it back.
You need to re-up on it too. You can't just let somebody. I don't know if this ever happens to you, but have you ever been around somebody that just drains you?
100%.
Just I don't know what it is. Just talking to them, they just absolutely drain you. Well, that's not a good place to be at. Now imagine with somebody like that 24/7. Or that's your best friend. Or whatever. You don't need that. You need to take inventory. Be like, you know what? They're draining. They're whatever. I'm gonna set myself to the side from them. They can call me. They can whatever.
Just to see how my life is without that person that's in it. And if it's not draining, then maybe I need to I got to make that tough decision to walk away.
Like, hey, am I benefiting in any which way from this relationship? And it might sound like you're selfish in ways, but man, I think sometimes you have to be selfish. With your own mental health.
I don't get it. I don't get why people are afraid to be selfish. So I think this is another issue that society has put on us. Like, be selfless, be selfless, be selfless. Selfless until what? I don't have anything left. Until like I just want to quit. Until I just want to like curl up in a bar and be done. Like you have to be selfish with like your time, your energy. Like you have to be selfish because if you're not, there are people out there that's going to take and take and take and take and take and take and take until they can't take anymore. So at some point, you have to snatch that stuff back and be like, hey, you're done. This ain't what it is. Go somewhere. Go somewhere with your life.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds wrong, but you do have to be selfish.
100%.
And I tell that to a lot of people because imagine, let's say me, I have my family at home. I have my little girl right now. And so let's say I just have somebody that's always depressed or always just taking my energy and just I always feel drained. Let's say I'm taking that. I give them all my energy. I'm sad with them, and now my energy is low. Everything is low. And I just feel drained. Now, when I go home and my little girl's happy to see me, this is the first time she's seen me in 12 hours, 14 hours, whatever it is. and my wife's happy to see me, and they're all excited, and I'm just, you know, kind of like 10 minutes. Hold on, baby. Daddy doesn't want to play right now.
Yeah.
I'm being selfish to her. I'm not doing what I should be doing to her. I'm giving my, you know, positivity to somebody else that always going to take it. They're always going to take, you know? So I can be selfish and be like, you know what, man, I'm 5 minutes here. I can't really talk to you. I'm really busy, whatever. And so I save all that so I can go and be with my girl and my wife. And, you know, it's being selfish, but you have to, man. Selfish with your time, with your energy, with your creativity, with your mind, with your spirit, your soul, your love, everything. You know, you have to guard it.
Yeah.
You have to guard it and know who gets what. And I think a lot of times that's what gets us in trouble. We give the wrong people the energy and our time, and they just keep using it up.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you can tell when people are using up your time and energy and creativity.
Yeah.
Like you can tell when, again, because you said it, when they come around and you, like, it gets, when they come around and the atmosphere gets heavy.
Yeah. Or they're always into some trouble. Or you know not to hang around, man. I don't know what it is, but I hang out with this dude. We're going to get some shit.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to stay drinking, or there's always going to be a fight.
Yeah.
Or whenever we drink, this bad things happen.
Yeah.
And you know that. And so it's,
and every time they come around, you go ahead and make that move with them.
Yeah.
Knowing what's going to pop off at the end.
Yeah, knowing how it's going to happen. But that's when we need to start being self-aware.
Yeah.
And being like, you know what, every time this guy comes around, something happens. You know what, I'm just going to go ahead and dip out. Hey, guys, you know, I'm going to call it early night or leave or take yourself out that situation and see what happens.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what, I didn't get drunk tonight, or I didn't, you know, end up in a fight, or I can go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to call in and make up a fake excuse or anything else, and then my check won't be low.
Yeah.
You know, so take yourself out of those situations that you should never be in, and see how your life will start changing.
Yeah. Because it will, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
It will, 100%.
Yeah.
What do you think? What are some qualities that you feel make a man high value?
I like this quote. I'm gonna butcher it, man. But it was saying, "Be." Oh man, how'd it go? Like like just impeccable with your word.
Okay. The Four Agreements by Don Ruiz or
something like that.
I can't say my words in Spanish. Yeah. You said how?
Reese.
All right. Okay.
I said Reese.
I'll start using that. Hold on.
Be impeccable with your word.
Okay.
You know, and that's not that you're going to fall through with that stuff, but you're at least going to try everything in your power to make something happen, you know? And I think a lot of times we give our word, or we give, you know, that you're going to do something, and you let any little small thing come up. You know, people want to know they can trust in you. They can confide in you. They can, you know, lean on you. And if you're just always like, yeah, man, I'll be there. I'll be there. Call me whatever time of day, brother. I'll help you out, you know. If you just need a vent or whatever, and you call them and they never answer.
For sure.
Or you message them and they never answer.
Yeah.
Or they say they're going to help you out in certain ways or whatever it is. And it's just a word like, hey, man, at least maybe I can't help you, but I'll be there with you.
Yeah.
And then we could try, you know.
Or answer your phone and say you can't help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But don't not answer because you don't.
I'm out of town. Oh, man, it's because he wants to talk. Hey, brother, I'm out of town right now. I can't really talk. If you want, I can call you later on, you know, and blah, blah, blah. But that's still you being impeccable with your word.
Mm-hmm.
That's you. I came through, just not the way you want me to.
For sure.
You know, so I think your word.
And that's a form of selfishness, too, when it comes to, you still came through, but it wasn't how they want you to come through.
Look, I'm with my family. I can't drop everything.
Right now.
This is your third episode of the week.
Yeah.
This is, you've had a breakdown because of the same girl, because of the same situation. Or
you got to start calling somebody else now. You know what I mean? You got to have at least 5 or 6 friends coming. You got to have a rotation.
Yeah, look, man, you're full of the drama.
Yeah.
You need about like 12 or 15 friends.
You need 12 or 15 friends that just, you know, talk about the same thing about.
Yeah. And the same, you're on a broken loop.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to vent. Okay, cool, but I don't have time for it right now.
Yeah.
And so I think that's very important, man. Be very, because at the end of the day, that's your word. You're what you say. It's that's what you have. Man. You can't break that stuff.
Got you. Yeah, I 100%. So I've read that book, and I think the one that I enjoy the most was uh, so be impeccable with your words.
Mhm.
Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best. The second one is where I
Which one?
need to
Isn't
continually
that
work
personal?
on. Don't take anything personal because
That's
it's not about it's never about you when it comes from someone else.
see,
It's their projection, whatever it is that they feel about themselves on you. And
yeah,
then if you take it personal, then now you're taking whatever it is, good or bad,
yeah,
and it's getting mixed with your spirit, and then now your reality starts to get mixed up because
yeah.
you're trying to figure out who I am really versus like who you really want to be.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah.
that's one of the hardest ones too. Because when I was reading that, don't take anything personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard because they're personally doing it to me.
100%.
You know what I
So
mean?
you want to take
Like,
them outside? Meet me outside.
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
see. Oh, let's be personal
yeah,
with these hands.
yeah, you personally disrespected me. You know what I mean? Like I know you're going through your own
Yeah,
traumas and
for
shit. You know
sure.
what I mean? But I told you don't do
Uh,
this to me or don't,
yeah,
or whatever it is, and you personally came up and you slapped me
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever the situation, disrespected or badmouthed me or caused me whatever. You did it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And you projected onto me. Now you can talk all you want. That's fine. But when it gets personal, you, your family, your friends,
Mm-hmm.
your immediate family, it's one of those hard things to take. Because I
100%.
can take criticism. I can take criticism. One of my first jobs was cooking at a retirement center
Mm-hmm.
for old people,
Yeah.
and those
So you
guys,
know they don't give a
man, they
damn.
don't
They'll
give
say
a.
whatever the hell they want to say.
They knew their time was coming, so they're like, "Fuck it,
Yeah. Who cooked this shit?
I ain't gonna sugarcoat. Who made this gravy taste like
Yeah.
shit?" They would cuss at me, dude. They would clown on my food.
Yeah, yeah,
This was slop, and you're just like, man, I'm trying, man, I'm
yeah.
trying. Like, y'all guys can't have no salt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for
You
sure.
want to restricted health guide, and
Yeah,
there's only so much sugar y'all guys can have, and so it's not me, it's y'all,
yeah,
Like, I mean, so thick skin. I think I've always had a thick skin,
yeah,
but I do let some stuff get to me, but I just
for
I work
sure.
on that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, for
not,
sure.
perfect or anything else. So, but yeah, man, taking stuff personally
Yeah.
is one of those biggest things. But I have worked on that with words.
Mm-hmm.
Like when somebody tells me, "Hey," like I'm going to say something about business, and I start telling them about it, and they have negative or they have their doubts. I'm like, you know what? That's their doubts.
Mm-hmm.
They're projecting them onto me. So
Yeah,
I don't take that whatsoever. But
yeah.
the other stuff, it's not. It's still personal.
Oh yeah, 100%. Again, I can take criticism, but if you talk about my family, um, like it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to take it
See,
personal.
I can take.
It's hard not to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go get this dude because
Yeah, I can take criticism of my family.
yeah,
Because I know my family.
yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hard to defend somebody
Mm-hmm.
when you know them.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
I
what I
got
mean?
you. Yeah,
And it's like, no, hey man, he was supposed to come and do this, and this, and he's lazy. Hey man, ain't nobody called my cousin late. Ain't
yeah.
nobody called my family late. And in the back of your mind, man,
Yeah.
that motherfucker did
Yeah,
that same shit to
fuck is
me.
lazy.
Yeah, I was trying to tell him get the shit together, Or they say your sister does this and this.
Yeah, yeah,
No, yeah. And you're like, fuck, man, well she did take care of the kids. You know what I mean? And you're like, fuck, So
yeah,
it's like I know my family.
yeah.
I know what they are and who they're not.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps me a whole lot.
I got you.
Especially my friends. I have a lot of friends and family and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And sometimes they don't get together, or not all my friends are each other's friends.
yeah,
Not all my family is each other's family. So it goes back to that fourth of knowing who to be around with. And I have some friends that are more family than my actual family.
yeah,
Like my core group of people that I hang out with,
yeah,
I consider that my family, and only like a quarter of them are actual blood.
yeah.
But I have friends that I can rely on and call them family, and I see them as brothers and sisters. So it takes a different approach.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So speaking of family or people telling you what you can and can't do when it comes to your life, you started a food truck. Uh, I don't even know how you got started. Can you kind of tell us how you got started to?
Maybe people won't believe me, but I think my wife has like old Facebook posts, man.
Yeah.
I started cooking barbecue.
Yeah. Okay.
So barbecue is what got me into cooking scene, into culinary world. that's what triggered my interest. That's why I was like, oh damn, this
Was
is
it the
my.
ribs, brisket, or
It
was
was,
it like
it was
everything?
from a movie. It was a rib scene, and
Okay.
they held the ribs and I had broken. And I was like, I've never had ribs like that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, none of our family really barbecue. We make like these skylights and asado and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I want to learn how to make really good barbecue. So that's what triggered my interest. And I found out this is before like YouTube and all recipes, and now you can look up, type in
Oh yeah,
any
recipe.
recipe in any dish, and it'll come up recipes. It'll even tell you where to buy it. HEB has it for this price and
Yeah.
that. So it's very very open now. But back then, you couldn't just find like a barbecue sauce recipe. You had to actually look in books and stuff like that. And I found out, oh man, you can make your own barbecue sauce. You can make your own your rib rub. I thought you had to buy all that from a package.
Gotcha.
So it just blew my mind, and that's what got me into cooking. And then I started cooking pork butt. Back then, in Texas barbecue places, they didn't sell pork butt because it's more like a North Carolina thing, South Carolina. Up there, it was all brisket, brisket sausage, spare ribs, and maybe baby back, but no pork butt.
Yeah.
And so it was dirt cheap, and I could get it and cook it and learn how to cook it, learn how to do my rubs and everything because a brisket's still expensive.
Yeah.
If you,
Yeah, for sure.
you're looking for $100 brisket with a 15 or $20 pork butt, and so I started cooking it, and then I started having friends over. And so my friend's like, dude, you could sell this. It's so good. I was like, no, man, you're crazy. I can't sell it. And I said, man, you know what? Let me try selling it. And we made like 100 sandwiches and sold the sandwiches at the back of our car. We straight hustled it.
Yeah.
And then I told my wife, let's try to do a food truck. And so we're saving money for the food truck. Sorry. And we had a 6-foot folding table, and we hit up the farmers markets. And I had those camp burners, and I was making crepes to order, and I was selling jams.
So how'd you get into the crepe making business? Like, because I heard that story, but I always wondered like how,
the crepes.
yeah, how'd you get into like making crepes and stuff?
So whenever I was working already at the country club, and we'd have to do brunches, you'd have to do all these other stuff. And one of the things was we had to make crepes for desserts, and it's a crepe Suzette or Blitzen with cream cheese and all that stuff. So I learned how to make crepes, and I was like, man, this is freaking awesome. And so when I would tell my wife, I would tell, oh, I never had a crepe. And I was like, man, I need something that. So when you do the farmers market, I think the food business is one of the hardest things to get into just because of regulations.
Yeah.
So temperature control, refrigeration,
Yeah.
you need a health permit, you need a city permit, and you need a commercial kitchen. Like there's so much things avenues that have to go through. But in Texas, we have something called the Texas Cottage Law, and it's for bakers. So you can legally bake and run a business out of your home as long as it's nothing that has to be refrigerated, like a cheesecake, tres leches, quiche, something that is temperature controlled. But you can make cakes, muffins, all this other stuff. It's jams, and so they open a whole world for people. And so I looked at that, and I was like, man, if I can make a crepe batter that doesn't require milk or eggs, I could legally sell it because I'm cooking it because it doesn't matter at the temperature because it's the bread. And so, man, I tried all these batters and everything and found one up. And when the health department came up, and then that's the first thing she told me, what kind of batter is this? I said, oh, it's just water. It's this, I'm like, I showed her the recipe. I said, it has no eggs, no milk. But I still had it in a bucket of ice just in case,
Yeah. And
then I was slicing the strawberries and bananas to order.
Yeah.
So I didn't need refrigeration right there. Everything was being sliced. So man, I'm always a big fan of looking at the gray area. I'm gonna find a way how to make it happen.
For sure. Yeah.
And so I was thinking, what else can I cook? I can't cook eggs. I can't cook anything in breakfast. So crepes was like a natural fit. And so not a lot of people had it at that time. So we made Nutella. I made jams, I made jellies, I made bread, I made muffins.
Yeah.
And so I had this little 6-foot folding table full of all that stuff. And man, I was just hauling ass, cooking crepes left and right. And that was our seed money for a food truck.
Got you.
Yeah. And I even printed out our logo, our logo that we have. I made it for like $4, I think.
Yeah.
Off an iPad.
Yeah.
And because it was during the boom, nobody could make me a logo, and everybody was
busy.
Give me 500.
Yeah.
Give me 500 to start, and then another 500 when I finish. And I'm like, what, $1,000 for a logo?
I ain't got it, boss.
I ain't got it like that. You want food? I cater you guys or something. And so I just printed out our logo and put it on the table. And so when people would cook, because I didn't have a sign, I didn't have anything. So when people come up and they're like, Curbside Bistro, what is that? I'm like, oh, that's a food truck. You got a food truck? Oh, we'll check it out this weekend. Where's it at? I'm like, it's at my house, and it's not a food truck.
Yeah.
It's just a box truck.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. I said, give me about 6 months, and we'll get it going. But again, that generated a buzz. So we already had a Facebook page.
Yeah.
So we had people going on our Facebook page, liking our page, and everything else like that, man. So when I tell you, we hustled, man, we hustled.
And this
like
is what,
crazy.
2000?
Probably 2013.
2013?
Yeah, because we opened in November 2014.
Got you.
So, man, I was doing caterings.
So from 2013 to now, that's 9 years, right? So a lot of people think like it takes, 50, 20, 30. Like if you just grind and grind and grind.
I have, professionally, I've been cooking a little bit over 10 years, professionally. Before that, I was cooking maybe 2 years, like barbecue amateur, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, I have done in 10 years what most cooks and chefs I know haven't done their whole lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's being super blessed and working my ass off, man.
Yeah.
We work our ass off. I grind. I know I'm a workaholic, and I know that's one of my downfalls and everything else. But I'd rather be that than an alcoholic or something,
I got you.
So I have to have a vice, man, So I'd rather let it be work.
Yeah.
And so, man, for those years, dude, even with the food truck, there was no event I said no to. There was no catering I didn't say no to, as long as it, made us money or whatever. And I saw the food truck as like my dreams were just out there parked.
Gotcha.
So when it was outside the house parked, I wasn't doing anything with it.
Yeah.
It's like a little bank, and you just have it there and you're not doing anything with it. Go grind Friday, Saturday. Hey, you got a kid's birthday party? I'll go out there. We'll get the food truck. So I used to pull up a food truck on kid's birthday party. You got a catering, you got an event, you got a church event, you got a school event. Yeah, I mean, you see me work, you see me pop up.
Yeah.
And I might be at a church on Sunday in the morning, and I'll be at a food truck party on Sunday at night, and I'll be re-upping, or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'll just do all types of events. And I saw the food truck as a restaurant.
Yeah.
And so whenever the mentality around here was the food trucks only Friday and Saturday, and they're only open for dinner. And even still now, you see some of these food trucks that like, man, I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to get like you. I want to open a restaurant. I'm like, work. Yeah. Work, man.
8 to 8, your food truck. You know what I mean? Like if you really want to put that work into it.
Yeah, man. So whenever we had the food truck, I told my wife, hey, this is a restaurant. We're going to open from 11 to 2 for lunch, and then from dinner from 5 to 10.
Yeah.
We close Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
I said, let's do that. But why not? It's a restaurant. And so when we were on Grant, people already knew. So we had people waiting outside of our gate trying to get in so we can open for dinner service.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, again, I saw them like, yo, this is a restaurant. This is our dream. We got to get to that set.
Yeah.
And, man, we just hustled. That's the only thing you can. Build a networking.
Yeah.
Your community. A lot of people are like, man, how do you know so many people? Man, we've done so much. We put ourselves out there. We go and communicate. Do these non-for-profits.
And your wife was working yesterday.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I brought my little nephews to go eat at Curbside, and she's like, "Hey, what's up, Aaron?" I'm like, "Why are you here?" You just assume like, like. She seems to be like more like in the back, the backbone, or just like I just never assumed like she would be the one like, taking orders and stuff. But she takes orders and hey, Alejandro, Aaron's here, you know what I mean? Giving the snack stuff. I was like, that's cool as shit, man. Like it really is cool as shit.
I tell everybody it's her business. I just work for her.
100%.
I tell everybody, hey man, I just work here. You know what I mean? Oh, you're the chef now. I'm dishwasher, chef. I throw trash. I do inventory. I do everything. But whenever we had the food truck, it was just me and her. She would take, man, I tell the runners, the guys now, she would take orders. She would give you a change. She'd give us the orders. She'd run you the food and then come right back. So we had a line of people. So when my wife talks to, new hires and stuff like that, oh, we're busy. She goes, y'all don't know what busy is. That's not busy. And she did it outside in the cold and the heat. And like, man, sometimes I'll feel freaking bad because it'd be freezing and she's out there and her nose is red and everything. But I knew what we had to do to get to where we were going to go. Like I always had that vision. I always had that vision of grandeur, and I knew it's just a hustle for a little bit.
Got you.
All the freaking times we had our shit freeze over, man. It was so freaking hot, we felt we were gonna pass out.
Yeah.
Our propane tank didn't work. Freaking refrigerator didn't work. Our inventory didn't come in. There were so many times I could have quit,
Yeah.
and there were so many times that I'm like, dude, I can just go get a job.
Yeah.
Like I can go cook wherever I want.
And I think that's another thing. Because I'm kind of like that same. Like I'd rather be homeless and work for what I'm doing now versus getting a job and surviving.
Yeah.
Like it's just a lifestyle. Like I know what I want, and this is where I want to go.
Mhm.
And people are like, well, just go get a job or go figure it out. Go get a job, work your 9 to 5, and then work on this as a side business. I'm like, this isn't a side business. This is all I got.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, this is all I got. This is all I'm working for. It's not about the money anymore. It's about what can I do to create like the life that I'm looking for. And a lot of people don't understand that.
They're not.
They don't understand. Like I'd rather suffer and
Yeah.
figure this stuff out than to run out there and have someone pay me for services that could potentially kill my creativity because I'm too tired to work
Yeah.
on the business that I really want to work on. So
And they're not going to understand, and they shouldn't have to understand.
yeah, for sure, because it's not them, it's you.
It's not there. It's
Yeah,
not there.
it's not
They-
there.
I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything.
100%.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to convince them. I'm not trying to get them on my team. I'm like, if they're down, they're down.
Yeah.
I have family and friends that they know that. If you're down with me, you're down with not.
Yeah.
And that's cool, You don't know how many times, man, I've had like those moments of I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
We didn't sell anything. A lot of people, they see us now and they see, oh, it's Chef Alejandro
Yeah.
or Stephanie and,
Yeah.
and the food and curbside bistro,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
They're doing badass things.
Yeah,
and-
they're lucky. They're
Yeah.
lucky. Whatever. They don't understand. There was times where I had to beg people to eat my food.
Mhm.
I had to beg. I had to commit. I had to sell myself to you.
Mhm.
Hey, look. Hey, man. If you don't like this burger, I'll pay you back.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Just eat it.
Yeah.
Try it out. And if you like it, you have to share it on Facebook,
Yeah.
or you have to like it or comment or something. Try my food. Hey, man. I'm convincing somebody to eat my food
Yeah.
that I know is
Yeah.
a shit.
Yeah.
Like I cook this. I'm not serving it. Like I'm very prideful in the work that I do.
Yeah.
Not saying that my food's the best,
Mhm.
but that's the best that I could do.
Yeah.
I'm not cutting corners.
Yeah.
I'm not, hey man, we're gonna sell this as this,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean? I'm not trying to pull one over on anybody. I'm trying to give you the best thing that I can make, and I know it's the best I can make.
Yeah.
And so there was times during the food truck where I sat there and we just looked at each other. There was nobody.
Yeah.
And 5 o'clock comes around, 6 o'clock comes around. Oh, here comes a car. Here comes a car. Oh, awesome. We got our first customer. Hey, what kind of burritos do you sell? Oh, man, we don't actually sell burritos. We sell sliders and fries. Okay, y'all don't have any tacos? No. Oh, all right, man. Well, thank you. Boom.
Yeah.
That's 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
7 o'clock.
Yeah.
You didn't get shit. And you just go home and you just turn off your burners and you turn everything and you're like, we'll try this shit again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And there were several days, and you just see your bank account, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 your savings, boom, 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 and bills just coming up. You're like, wow. But you have to have that tenacity. You have to know
Mhm.
that it's going to work.
Like your product is good, and
Yeah.
it's
I just
gonna pop
need an
off.
opportunity. I
Yeah.
need one person to try it, because one
Yeah.
person tries it, he's going to tell somebody else.
Yeah.
He's going to tell. And right now, even word of mouth is huge for us.
For sure.
Or I talk to somebody that's never been, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, all my friends say it's really good. Well, come on with it. You know what I
I
mean?
still can't believe everybody in Odessa or Midland hasn't had curbside bistro.
Oh, no, there's
There
a
was
lot.
there was
There's a lot of
there's a
people.
lot. I
There's
mean,
a
I'm
lot.
just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how do you not? Yesterday when we ate there was a family that was like, we never had it before. What's good? I was like, everything. I mean,
Yeah,
if you try everything,
Yeah.
get your fries all the way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
you can mix and match if you don't feel
And
like you
decisive.
want two, the same sliders. You can mix and match.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, which one? I'm like, honestly, all of them. I eat El Jefe because I like the
Yeah.
cream cheese. You know what I
There you
mean?
go. Yeah,
My little nephews like mac and cheese, so they got the Homer Simpson. But I'm like, you
Yeah.
should try it. You should try them all. She's like, have you tried them all? Like 100%. I've tried every single slider that's on that menu. Plus the fries, plus the toaster joints. What are those? What are
the pulled pork sandwiches?
Yeah, pulled pork. I mean, I've tried it all, and it's like it's all been good. So like, try it all. It's like, oh, okay. And then like they ate, and I was just like, I can't believe like
there's a lot.
People haven't had like herbicide at least once.
There's a lot of people that haven't had it yet, man. A whole bunch of
That's crazy.
And I know that. I know that. So I told my wife, I'm like, yo, I see great things for us. I see my vision is always, a couple years ahead. But it's the shit you got to go through.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't be where we're at right now if I would have just quit.
Yeah.
Or stopped.
Yeah.
And how you talked about just getting a job and everything else is I already put in that work. So for X amount of years, I worked under a chef or I worked for another place, and that wouldn't get my creativity, wouldn't get my own stuff, and I had to follow somebody else's orders. Even when I'm like, dude, I could be cooking better than this.
Yeah.
But I would do all that on the side, and so there wasn't. I put in that work already where I worked 2 jobs at one time.
Got you.
Yeah. And so now it was time to. Hey, this is it. This is flight mode.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight or what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just need that opportunity.
Yeah.
I just need that opportunity to hustle, man. And I think too many of us we get discouraged and the first night you don't sell nothing, you're like, man, I'm gonna go get a job.
Yeah.
Or I should be doing this, or I should be doing that.
The first 2 months, you know what I mean? Like
first 2 months, 3 months, 6 months.
And people don't understand, like when you start something off, you suck at it.
Yeah.
You're not going to be good at it.
You're starting something from scratch.
From scratch. It's
you
your creativity.
You didn't exist.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? You didn't exist. Nobody knows you.
Yeah.
How do you want to have a line of people lining up?
Yeah.
How can you line up for something that you don't know exists?
Yeah.
But you have to make them know.
Yeah.
How are you doing that? Are you getting involved in the community? Are you putting yourself out there?
Yeah.
Are you posting stories? Are you, all these things that we talk about, we do. And it's just to better your business and get people out there to know you. And so that's one of my biggest things I tell these guys, because we get it a lot. I want to open up a food truck. Where are you working at right now? Oh, I do this. It's nothing food related.
Yeah.
My biggest advice is get into the food industry.
Yeah.
Get into whatever area you want to cook barbecue, go work at a barbecue place. You want to make, cakes, go work at a bakery. And see if that's something truly you want to do. Because 80% of the job in cooking is cleaning.
Yeah.
Cleaning, organizing, sanitizing, breaking stuff down, doing shit you want to do, cleaning the fryers and getting organized. The other 20% is actually cooking. So that 80%, if you're not really into, I really don't like picking up 50-pound bags of flour or waking up at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning and baking it all day and doing this. It's not your passion. That's not what you're going to do. Or you're going to be like, you know what, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I get to go out there and create amazing desserts, amazing cakes, or amazing food. Every single day. This is what I love for. And all the other stuff, because there's always going to be stuff that's not fun to do. It's fine. I'll do it.
Yeah, it comes with it. So
it comes with the territory. Yeah, I'll do it. And then that's where you become a beast. But I always tell people, get into the business that you want to be into. Learn it backwards and forwards on their dime.
Yeah. Because
if you make a mistake, they're paying for that mistake.
100%.
If not, you're paying for that cake you messed up, or you're paying for that brisket you overcooked.
Yeah.
Or you're paying, all this other stuff. So get the experience on somebody else's dime, and then just hone your craft. Be addicted to that. I sleep, eat, and breathe cooking.
Yeah.
Anything related to cooking, I'm always on it, man. I'm always looking at other chefs. I'm always looking at other restaurants. What are they doing? The thing that's crazy is I save menus.
Yeah.
So I save menus and I write menus, which is kind of weird, but like I told you, somebody says, man, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I'll write a menu for a restaurant that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But it's because my creativity and everything.
You're trying to figure it out. I mean, that menu could be for a restaurant in the future.
Yeah, or that dish. Don't know. Yeah, or whenever I came up with the specials. So when my little girl was born, not a lot of people know this, I took 3 months off. I said, I'm going to dedicate these 3 months to helping my little girl and my wife and situating ourselves to parenthood, and being there, because 24/7, especially for those first 3 months. So I took off for those 3 months, and I had a bunch of downtime, dude. And my little girl would be asleep, my wife would be asleep, and I'd be sitting there. And so I opened up my iPad, and that's how the Beer Barn was born.
Got you.
I got my TABC license. boom, 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 and it's a pain to do
Yeah.
and researching all that stuff. But I pulled a license, and I was telling my wife, "Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta go get this notarized." And then
But see, how did you even know, was that building for sale when you started it, or?
that business owner, we had a conversation. We would always have dialogue, like I said, communicate. And he told me he was interested of letting it go or leasing it out. I said, okay, well, you let me know. But that was a year before I even got into it.
Yeah.
That was just a conversation we had.
Yeah.
And it took a year. Like I'm telling you, patience and networking, communication.
For sure.
It took a year for him to say, all right, yeah, cool. And even then, it took me about 6 months for me to actually be in there.
Yeah.
So
But it also goes to show, man, it's just, just getting up every day and just taking it one day at a time.
Yeah.
And to me, I believe if you're doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing, the doors will open up when they need to open up.
Yeah.
And so just let it ride and just continue doing what you're doing.
That's one of the hardest things that I've had to work on myself is it's not our time, it's God's time.
For sure.
And so sometimes you can have everything lined up. It's going to be everything you need to do is do a certain job.
Yeah.
And some outside force stops it. And you just get pissed and you get depressed and you get, all these things. But really, if you're like, okay, maybe it's not my time.
Yeah. It's
not my time to do this.
Yeah.
And so, but that's been the hardest thing for me to accept.
Got you.
And to learn. And it's crazy when we talk about everybody kind of see the feeling I get from people, because again, I don't know what the outside people perceive me as, because I have my blinders on. So
Gotcha.
Like my brother would talk to me about one of his friends, like, oh, they say they know you, that you're a good guy, and I'm like, oh, really? That's crazy. And he goes, wait, nobody tells you that? I'm like, oh, I don't, I'm in my own little bubble.
Yeah.
And I'm so focused on work and family and everything, so I don't really know what the outside community perceives us as.
Yeah.
So when all this was going on, I think people see as like, man, you guys came up quick. Man, you were just a food truck a year ago, or a couple 6 months ago. Now you're a restaurant.
Yeah.
And man, you were just on Food Network, and man, you were just on this, and then now you got this award, or now you got that award, and people think it's, man, I've been grinding like for the whole Food Network. Took more than 2 years.
Yeah.
For it to even air.
Yeah.
It took a year for me to apply for it. And then, because once they reached out to me, I had to do all this application process. I had to write recipes. I had to send in pictures. I had there was a culinary board, which was crazy. And so let's say they'd say, send in top 5 of your best dishes.
Yeah.
Okay. We like these 3. Send us the recipe. You send them the recipe. And then they're like, okay, now you did this. You marinated meat for 20 minutes. Why'd you do that? Why not 30? And use garlic fresh or frozen or powdered. Why do you do? What flavors were you looking for? You're like, what?
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell am I doing here? It's like you were looking for a job application.
Yeah.
But that took a year.
Yeah.
And then when I got the call that, yes, you're going to be on it, for me to actually be on the show, film it, and release another year. So it's almost 2 years in the making, man.
Yeah.
But again, I wasn't counting on that accolade or award or anything. I kept grinding. I'm like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
What's coming next? And then that's when 2020 hit. And I'm like, man, I'm just trying to keep my business open, because imagine if we would have closed, or I wouldn't have stayed focused, or the blessings that we got and the crew that we have, and they wouldn't have stayed with us, and we were closed. That episode would have aired, and there's no curbside bistro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's too much things we focus on. We want it now. Yeah. Instant. I want instant gratification, and they think it happens real fast.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's been years in the making, dude.
Yeah.
We've been grinding our asses off for years.
And that spot, that restaurant, they've had numerous restaurants there.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure people have told you that too. Like there has not been a restaurant there that hasn't gone out of business
within a year.
Because I think the last place that was there that I can think of was like it was a burger and pie.
Oh no! So that place was 3 restaurants right before it.
Okay.
It was one restaurant that lasted years.
Okay.
It was called like Mamacitas or Toreados or something like that. Right? That place lasted for a year. After them, it was 3 other restaurants.
They didn't last over a year.
None of them lasted over a year. And the last 2 were burger places.
Yeah.
One was kind of like a mom and pop shop, but it was called burgers, fries, and cherry pies.
Yeah. Okay, that one.
So burger, fries, and cherry pies,
Yeah.
and they're huge in Midland, and they're popular. Everybody's like, "Dude, this is a gourmet burger." Blah blah blah. Those guys are gonna be slammed.
Yeah.
They went out within a year.
Yeah.
The next was Hef's Burgers.
Okay.
Which is a franchise coming out of Amarillo Market.
I've never had Hef's Burger.
No, everybody's, they're amazing. Thank God that they're here. And every time I'm in Amarillo or Biggs, because they have franchises in the West Texas area, North Texas area too. Oh, it's my favorite burger spot. Man, it's amazing. Didn't last a year. But the crazy part is I've shared this testimony. I shared this story before. Is maybe 2-3 months before they closed. Me and my wife, we were always looking for restaurants and things. And I can't tell you how many business meetings we had with partners or investors. I'll build you a restaurant. Yeah, Alejandro, I love what you're doing. I love everything. I'll build you a restaurant. But this is what I want. And then sit right. Yeah. This is what I need. And then sit right.
Gotcha.
And so we always prayed upon it. Every big decision, I prayed upon it. Prayed upon it. And then, like maybe 3 months before they went out of business, I was riding my car. I was talking to God. I talk to God all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Talking to God. So, man, show me where you want me. We need a restaurant, God. Yeah. We need a restaurant where we're busting at the seams. All these problems are happening. Show me where do I go? Do I go to Midland? Do I go out of town? What do I do? Where I want to stay here. Show me where you want me. And right there, I was coming from the north side. And I was coming from the south side going north, and I stopped right at that light right before Church's Chicken. And I looked to the right, and it says Hef's Burgers, and it just caught my eye. And somebody said, pull in, and I was pulled in there, and I was like, he's like, this is where it's gonna be, and I was like, but it was
it's already a place here.
Yeah, I'm like, there's already. God, you tripping?
There's on the sidewalk.
On the side, I can't park out here, man. It's already a burger restaurant. But he told me this is where it's going to be at. I said, all right, cool. Bet. Every day for 3 months, I would drive by that building and do like a loop and say, this is where our restaurant's going to be. This is where our restaurant was going to be. Because it was on the drive home. So I would make that little loop. And then I told my wife, hey, I found a restaurant. She goes, yeah, where's it going to be at? I'll show you. I went and I drove her through it. And she goes, hey, are you crazy? This is already a restaurant. I said, yeah, I know, but they're going to go out of business.
Yeah.
And she goes, Alex, no, they're not. They barely opened.
Yeah.
She goes, they're not going to go out of business. I'm like, yeah, it is. I said, hey, we're going to be here. Yeah. Something tells me we're going to be here. I kept driving around. At the end of the 3 months, when I drove by, they had an out of business sign on the front.
Yeah.
And I checked on Facebook, they were closed.
That's crazy.
I reached out to the owner. He goes, yeah, Alejandro, do you want it? And this, yes, I want it. He goes, give me 5 days to think about it.
Yeah.
I said, okay, that's fine. On the fifth day, when it was the actual fifth day, we were to San Antonio for a cooking competition, and I had a food truck and food trailer, and then we were finishing up, and we are driving to Austin, and in between San Antonio and Austin, traffic's crazy. I told my wife, I said, so what's up? You down? You down? We're gonna get this restaurant. She goes, no, I don't know. I said, we're gonna get it, Steph. She goes, if he calls me, I'm gonna tell him yes, we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
And she was scared. She was afraid. I mean, of course, who wouldn't be?
It's a big move, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it was going to take all our savings. We're going to start, because we used all our savings to do the food truck.
Yeah.
And so I know how it feels to have nothing right there.
Yeah.
And so when we started the restaurant, we're going to have to do the same thing. That's where it's going to be, it's going to get a little tight. It's going to be a little crazy. And she goes, I don't know. I said, no, it's going to be ours. As soon as I said that, boom, he calls me. Alejandro, you still interested? Yes, sir. He goes, okay, it's yours. I said, man, I'm in Austin right now. I can't go and sign papers. No, just your word. If you're saying you're going to get it, you're going to get it. When you get back, just talk to me. Awesome. Boop. Told my wife, hey, we have a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it started from there, man.
That's so crazy, man.
Yeah, but it's so many times where it's on God's time. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I talk to him a lot. I talk, and I've learned how to listen. And I've learned how to listen when he talks to me. And it's not like a clear voice or anything like that. You feel it,
Yeah.
And that has led us into the restaurant. It led us into the food trucks. It's led us into the competitions we've been in and the TV shows.
Yeah.
All that stuff. And it just got something, hey, you need to do this.
Yeah.
You need to do this. And I think part of that is being so, how can you say it, man? Like, all right, freak, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Why the hell are you doing it? Oh, God told me.
Yeah.
And I can look crazy.
Yeah.
I can look totally crazy.
Yeah.
But it's been working so far, man. And so it's hard.
So tell me what's crazy. Me saying God did it and everything is working out the way it's supposed to, or me trying to do it myself and I'm still struggling in life.
And that happened, or
Yeah.
choose the wrong partner and
sure.
do the wrong thing. And so I'm like, that's why I tell you that my perception is one where I don't really take outside energy or outside things. Because imagine if I would tell some of my friends and found, hey man, I think I'm starting, this restaurant, but hey, it was 2 other burger places and it's closed down within a year.
Yeah.
And even when we posted on Facebook, it's crazy. When we posted on Facebook, that place is cursed.
Yeah. I heard that, man. I was like, that place is cursed. No one.
Man, that place is cursed.
No one can stay open. And you've been open there since when?
Oh man, we've already been like 4 years already.
4 years, I was telling my nephews, like, it's been 3 or 4 years. I told them yesterday, like, they had, like, the restaurant, and you don't know, because you just assume when you're driving by, like, there's always they're always closed out or whatever. Like, they've been there for 4 years, and I don't think they're going anywhere.
Yeah, no, man. We have no plans of leaving. We have no time, but we got even from friends, man, and family. Like I said, man, that place, bad location.
Yeah.
Why there? No, man, that place is cursed.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do. Nobody has like. You telling me you're going to be better than Hef's Burgers? That's a franchise, and they have millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You telling me you're going to be better than Cherry Pies and pies and Cherry Pies, whatever?
Yes, I'm telling you that because God told me that.
Yeah. There's a McDonald's across the street.
Yeah.
There's a McDonald's.
Sonic,
there's a Wendy's.
Stars.
A Sonic. A Stars.
Yeah. Subway too. If you like Subway.
But this was all burgers. This was all burger places.
Yeah.
You have Wendy's, you have McDonald's, you have Stars, and you have Sonic.
Yeah.
And they all sell burgers. Like back then, it was like 99 cents or $1 burger. You telling me you can sell $10 burgers around places that $1, $2 burgers?
Yeah.
No, you crazy. It's not gonna work. You crazy.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm telling you, go somewhere else.
Now you show up, you can't even find dang parking spot. You know what I mean? Like
blessed,
we showed up yesterday. It was just every parking spot was taken up. So
thank God. And our neighbors are cool though. So churches,
nobody be at churches like that.
Nah,
anyway,
we hook them up. They already know that we the plug. Hey, they're customers parking. I got some pulled pork fries. Or, I don't know if they got the tired chicken. We'll hook you up with some buffalo fries. We'll do a trade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's not your pocket. So,
for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One last question, man.
All right.
Or two questions.
Nah, you're good. You're good. I'm good on time.
The fries, man. How did you come up with the all the way fries? I was always curious.
With the cilantro ranch,
basically. Yeah.
So the biggest thing is in any cooks or culinarians, whatever, is or chef is finding their voice.
Yeah.
Because a huge part of being a chef or cooking is following recipes. Following recipes, you learn from whoever taught you or the school that taught you and everything else. But there's a point in your career where you have to say, all right, well, this is my style.
Yeah.
This is my style. This is how I cook. You have to start developing your style of cooking, your own recipes, which is hard as hell, because there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
You have the same carrots you've had. Everybody else has the same carrots.
Yeah.
So how are you going to manipulate it, treat it, cook it, prepare it in a different way? And plus, how do you know what your style is? And how do you know people are going to like it?
Yeah.
So I've always been one that puts the sauce on the fries.
Yeah.
There's dippers. I've never been a dipper. Smother it, whatever it is. If it's chicken or it's chicken tenders or whatever, smother that in gravy or smother it. I've always been smothering it, whatever. My brother, he helped me out the first day we opened the food truck. So it's me, my brother, my wife, and I'm like, we came up with cilantro ranch. And the reason we came up with it was because I had corn fritters. And my wife hates cilantro. And she goes, just make ranch. We made ranch. But it was missing something. And the jalapenos, the heat, it needed to cool the flavor of the cilantro ranch.
Yeah.
Or the cilantro. And then so she goes, I don't like cilantro. And she tasted it. She goes, oh, it's amazing. I said, okay. And then I was like, man, this cilantro ranch and ketchup goes good,
Yeah.
And then when we had our first order, my brother's like, all right, you put the fries. I'm like, no. I said, put the sauces on top of the fries. He goes, which one? I said, the ranch and the ketchup. I said, it's like our version of animal style.
Yeah.
I said, that's our version. So if you just order fries, that's how they're going to come.
Yeah.
And my brother's like, well, what if they don't like it like that? Well, I'll give them a side of fries. I said, that's fine. I said, but we had to start showing people that this
Setting
is
yourself apart.
I said, this is my style.
Yeah.
We have crazy fries, and it's not really crazy. You think about it, And then so he goes, "You sure?" I said, "Yeah. Every order is gonna come like this unless they specifically say, no, I don't want sauces."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "All right, man." And my wife too. She goes, "Hey, this one wants sauce on the side." I said, "Tell them to try it on top. And if they don't like it, I'll give them a side of fries." And even now, people come up, I want the sauce on the side. All right. And I'm going to come back. Can I get an extra side of ranch?
Yeah.
or they'll bring the plate up. Can you guys put the sauces on top?
For sure.
It just changes the flavor. It
does.
It does, man. I don't know.
Does.
The hot fries and the cold ranch, it just cook. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But it's the thing where this is where I wanted to set myself apart from.
Gotcha.
Again, with the fries, not choosing frozen or choosing fresh. And even the fries that we choose, we went through like 3 or 4 different fries. We test our potatoes. You can talk to my buyers, my potato buyers. I'm like, man, that guy he's picky than a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I'll call, hey man, this ain't the right size you sent me. You know what I mean? Or hey, we checked the sugar levels on our potatoes too.
Yeah.
Hey man, this sugar, this intake, these potatoes have way too much sugar, man. They're not frying how they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And so we're very, very specific. But again, that was my voice.
Yeah.
That's my style. So if I got you with like an unsuspected surprise with the fries, imagine what I'm doing with the burgers.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, hey, if this dude's doing something crazy with plain fries, imagine what he's doing with the actual cooking.
Gotcha.
And so that's why I want to set ourselves apart and give people something to talk about and have people know to trust us with their food.
Yeah.
Like, hey, trust whatever the concoctions that are coming up are meant to be together.
Yeah. And it's gonna be good because I put it into it.
Yeah.
That also sounds like a good chapter to a book. As a recipe, you know what I mean? Like finding yourself as a chef with recipes and your creativity and things of that nature.
And that's one of the biggest things because I see a lot of people. Oh, I'm a cook or I'm a chef, and you can be a great cook.
Yeah.
And follow recipes, and as a chef, that you want people that follow your recipes.
For sure.
You want people that stick to consistently like this. But as a chef, you have to be innovative. You have to be have your own style, and that's why all these like celebrity chefs or chefs that have other restaurants and won James Beard Awards and everything else is you can go to a restaurant and see their fingerprint on their food.
Gotcha. Yeah. You're not gonna get curbside beef or anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, because that's you created it.
Yeah.
My
upbringing, the graffiti, the hip hop, all that stuff. I have Biggie on the front wall. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so you're not gonna get that vibe, that soul, that sense anywhere else because it belongs to me.
Got you.
I'm not copying anybody else, and I'm not using a recipe. I made it myself, and
that's the beauty of life, man. I just, you're not copying anything. You're just, you're allowing God to mold you and create you the way that He wants to mold you and create you, and you're not stopping His progress, and and honestly, they're like you can go as big as you want to. Like no one is going to stop you from doing it.
Yeah.
I was watching a video, and they said that some people make $100,000 a year. Some people make $100,000 in a month.
Yeah.
Some people make $100,000 in a day.
Yeah.
Some people make $100,000 in an hour.
Yeah.
It's the perspective, is how you see things. Like nothing's going to stop you until so people who make $100,000 in a day, they didn't stop when they made $100,000 in a year. They're like, well, let me see if I can make $100,000 in a month. Mm-hmm. And so it's like that continual process. And to me, I think God wants you to be as big as you can possibly be.
Yeah.
Like he didn't create you just to be like this small, stature of a person who doesn't, take up space and who doesn't create things and who doesn't change the world. Like he didn't create us for that.
Yeah.
He created us to be the biggest and the best that we can possibly be.
The greatest version of yourself.
With him, the greatest version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And some people they stop it because of the fear of like, oh man, I need to get a job because I'm not making the money, or I'm about to be homeless. And I honestly, that's where I'm at mentally in my head.
Yeah.
I'm about to, I'm looking to start a nonprofit. I'm writing a book. I would rather do these things and be homeless than to work for a job, right?
And stop right now,
and it takes away all my creativity.
That job will always be there.
It always be there.
I'd rather see if I can
make it
successful.
This way.
or fail,
Yeah.
because I can always go back to having a job.
100%.
That's the same thing with food. Like I told you, there was a bunch of times where I'm like, man, I have enough buzz where I can go work where I want.
Yeah.
You know, I can cook.
Yeah.
It'd be different if I'm like, fuck, you know what? I can't really cook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey man, my food's not that good.
My food's not that good.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I know I can cook. I know I can, come up with food and stuff. I can go work wherever I want.
Yeah.
I said, but those jobs will always be there.
Yeah.
This opportunity isn't.
Yeah.
This community, the opportunity they're giving me to come in and do what I have to do and do what I want to do, it's not going to be there, you know? And so it's all about timing.
Yeah.
You just, fuck it, man. You got to do it.
You got to do it.
You got to do it because you don't want to look back. Like I there's a point in my life where I switched from, I'd rather, I don't want to be with that regret of, man, I should have done this.
Yeah.
Or I could have done this,
yeah,
but because I was scared, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be like, hell yeah, I did it.
So let me ask you this: what pushed you to, because fear is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So what pushes you? Because I'm pretty sure there's still fear when it comes to doing certain things or venturing it out.
Yeah.
Like what has kept you from not allowing fear to stop you from doing what it is that you want to do?
And it's funny because I was talking to my wife about this the other days, and she saw it too. We've been together so long, you know. I said there was a point in my life where I flipped a switch. Something inside me internally just freaking switched.
Yeah.
From okay, just cruising on life. You just doing the bare minimum. You're not living. You're surviving.
Yeah.
To anything is possible.
Yeah.
I can do anything I want to do. I can accomplish anything I want to do, and I had that mindset of
and fuck surviving. I want to thrive.
Yeah,
I want to feel what that
and
what that is.
Not just I don't want to survive. I want to make a change.
I got you.
Not just for myself, but for my community. Because like at that point in time, I'm like, if I pass away tomorrow, ain't nobody gonna miss anything. I'm gonna go up to the gates, and then he's gonna be like, hey, well, what did you do with the time I gave you?
Yeah.
Man, that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like what did you change anything? Did you affect anything? Did you cause waves? Like the whole point for you to go down there that made you is to fucking grab life by the horns and make waves and do this commotion, make ruckus and change the world as much as you can. That you can in your community, however big that the scope goes, however big the ripple makes into waves.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to make change. I want to make a change. And I just started grinding. I started hustling, not taking no for an answer. I'm very stubborn.
Yeah.
I'm very, very stubborn. I'll find a way to do things or if the whole 2 solution things.
Yeah.
I'll find 3, 4, 5 solutions.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, hey, I'm halfway through the good ones. I'm about to start getting into the bad ones. You know what I mean? I'm all out of options. So
I'm all out of options.
Yeah, I'm all out of good options. I'm about to start on the bad ones. You know what I mean? Like, I know this is stupid, but all the good ones haven't worked.
Yes, sir.
And so I sat back and I took myself and I said, you know what? At this point, I was probably like at my lowest I've ever been. Depression. I was probably depressed more than I knew I was. I just didn't know what depression was.
Yeah.
Or what it looked like. I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't happy with the situation.
Because you was working at a job that you didn't want to be at, or
I was working at a job that probably I didn't want to be at, but it wasn't also fulfilling my passion.
Got you.
I was working from 6 to 6, 6 days a week.
Jesus, yeah.
You just zombie.
I mean, yeah, you're not even living at that point.
Nah.
You're 100% just up and going and sleeping, going and sleeping.
That's it.
Yeah.
And how many people like that you know?
Yeah. I mean, especially in this community with the oil field, that's that's what everyone does.
We're shown not to chase your passion.
Yeah.
Chase the money, not the passion.
That's so stupid.
What do you want to do? What do you like to do?
Yeah.
And so I had that switch of, man, I'm just existing. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing this living situation where my mom's house, my girlfriend, my wife, my girlfriend at that time. And I'm like, dude, is this it for me? Is this it? There's one room with a closet.
Yeah.
Not even our own bathroom, And I'm like, yo, is this where I'm gonna raise my kids?
Yeah.
Am I gonna have kids?
Yeah.
Is this where, And then so I'm like, yo, you have to change.
Yeah.
You have to fucking change. And so that's when I said, you know what? I can do all that stuff. I can. I'm just gonna fucking. All these years I've been lazy.
Yeah.
And when I look back at it, I was lazy, but you're like, no, you weren't. You had a full-time job, you still provided. No,
You just stuck.
I was lazy with my skills
Got you.
and my gift.
Got you.
I was lazy with that. And how many people do you not know, like, they can either draw amazing, they can sing, they can play the guitar, they can do amazing stuff, carpentry, all this other stuff. But it's my side project, it's my hobby. I don't really do it.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
that's money. That's money waiting. That's money waiting. Because we were all put on the search to do something.
Yeah, or not even money. That's happiness.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
If that's what makes you happy,
100%.
why wouldn't you do something that makes you happy?
100%. Yeah.
And so I'm like, cooking makes me happy. And so I'm like, let's do it.
And low key, what makes you happy brings everything else to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, because you like cooking, everything else comes to you. Like because you like cooking, you're here in this place now because of the skills that you had and you worked on before you got here. So.
Yeah, and I put in years of being paid very little, very minimum, being overlooked, being not given credit for, and coming up with dishes and doing all this stuff. But I said, you know what, this is gonna make me better. Yeah, I have to grind because I started at 24. I thought I started so late that I had to fucking work my ass. Like right now, I studied baking books, confection books, ice carving, fruit carving, charcuterie, all these stuff that I wouldn't really need to know. I dove into it. I took classes. Anybody that could teach me, I learned from. Yeah, as much as I could. Yeah, because I'm like, this is what's gonna get me there. And then the crazy thing is whenever we would get around other chefs and talk, and they're like, "Oh, you young culinarians, y'all guys are crazy. Most of y'all guys just want to be here because y'all guys want to get on the Food Network." Yeah. And he goes, "I guarantee none of you guys will ever get on the Food Network." Yeah. And you're like, dude, these kids are chasing their dreams and their passion. Yeah. If their dream is to be on a Food Network one day, who are you to kill that shit? Yeah.
Because they haven't got on the Food Network, so they want to kill somebody else's dream.
It was in the James Beard House. You guys would never be in the James Beard House or James Beard Award or anything else like that. And then so whenever I did my interview with one of the chefs, he goes, "What do you want to be?" I said, "Dude, I want to be the best chef that I can be out of this area." He goes, "What do you mean, like out of your class?" I said, "No, out of the area." And he goes, like, "Odessa?" I was like, "No, West Texas." I'm like, "I'm going to be the best chef." Yeah. I said, "I'm going to be the best chef with or without you." Yeah. I'm just telling you, if you give me a chance, I'll work for you. Yeah. And he goes, "All right, we'll see." And dude, I fucking worked my ass off. Before we got into the Food Network, we took a trip to New York for the James Beard House, I think a year before that. Mm-hmm. And I told my wife, I want to go see the offices of the Food Network. We got to go see it. We went down there, and it's out of the way, whatever. We went down there, and then it's not nothing fancy. It just says a little sign on the door of the Food Network, and then employees only, and you can't go. So it's not nothing where you're like, oh shit,
look in the window.
It's not like TRL or something. Yeah. It's not like you're gonna meet somebody. No, it was just probably employee entrance. It was super boring. Yeah. But I said, take a picture. I have a picture of me in front of it. Yeah. I said, I'm gonna be here one day. Yeah. I said, I'm gonna be here. I'm visualizing this shit. I'm manifesting it. Yeah. I'm putting it out in the universe. I'm gonna be here one day.
Got you.
And she goes, all right.
Did you ever write it down, or you just in your head you manifested it and you believed it?
I should rewrite stuff down. Yeah. There's power in that. Yeah. But I'm more of a manifest. Yeah. And
I mean, I think there's power in both of them. If you visualize and you've seen yourself at the Food Network and you're taking pictures, so you're putting it out there in the universe, saying like, "Hey God, this is what I'm wanting. Yeah. If it is, this is what you can give. If this is your will, then I believe it. It'll happen. And if you write it down, it's the same exact thing. But it's 100%.
And see, when I write stuff down, like I won't see it unless I actually look about it. So I look at it. But if I put it in my head, I memorize. I'm with that.
You're always thinking about it. Food Network.
I'm gonna be on TV. I'm gonna do this. James Beard Foundation. I'm gonna be cooking one day at the James Beard House. I am gonna be cooking. We are gonna be there. And I would just manifest it, dude, every day and talk about it. And when it came up, I'm like, all right, look. The kid they said would never be here is here. Yeah. The kid they said was never going to run a business is running a successful business. Yeah. The guy that they said, because I got a lot of
in a cursed location.
In a cursed location. I got a lot of my own peers of like, he's not going to make it. Yeah. Because it's different from running a food truck business to running a restaurant. Mm-hmm. The cost is just enormous, and he's not going to make it. Yeah.
And I think only one other of your peers is like in the restaurant business.
I have Taqueria Reynosa, my homeboys.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then were you also with what is it, Eric Prado with
Eric Prado, he had a food truck, Roosters.
Yeah, okay.
And they went into a restaurant. And so,
but it doesn't happen often. A food truck to a restaurant.
It doesn't happen, and if it does, it doesn't happen like in the scale that we did.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, or how quick. You know, from what people perceive as quick.
Yeah.
But I felt like an eternity.
Yeah.
You know?
4 years, man, is 4 years is long, but it doesn't feel that way because it's like it feels like y'all been there for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like 8 years. Like I was like, how long have they been there, man? Because it's just
in a cursed location.
Yeah, in a cursed location.
And what does he know about business?
Yeah.
What does he know about
and then you buy the building next to it and make a whole nother business off of it. So
and they're like, what does he know about this or that? And oh man, he's local. Nobody's ever gonna pay attention to him. And then we got national shows.
Yeah.
On three national shows.
Yeah.
And so I'm here to be like, we're the first to do it.
Yeah.
From West Texas.
Yeah.
Right. Now I want to see who's going to be the first to host the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're paving the way. And I'm always, man, I'll buy food from Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
If you selling by the curb, I'll pull up. And you see my stuff.
For sure.
I'll be, if you're cooking outside and you're grilling, you got barbecue, I'll buy it. I'm not one of those people like, oh, no, it's safety. Man, I'm from the hood.
Yeah.
I'm like, ain't nothing.
And it's probably going to be some of the best thing you've ever tasted anyway. You know what I mean?
I order dessert from people. I order food from people. I get them dropping up. I'm like, hey, I'm ordering this plate. They're like, okay, when do you want to drop it off? 3816 Andrews Highway.
Yeah.
Like, curbside beach. Yeah, go inside.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? You want to take it to a restaurant? I'm like, yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Come by.
I've had the best menudo, from the people like making it at their house. Oh my gosh! Versus I'm like, dude, it's not even close from like the restaurant menudo versus like someone's menudo who's it's just different.
And those guys just need a chance.
Yeah,
they need opportunity. If that's what they really want to do.
Yeah,
they need that highlight. They need that support. And I'm here to show them. Yeah, you fucking can make it.
Yeah,
if you grind and you dedicate your life to it. And you listen to God and you have a strong support group, you can do all this and more.
Yeah.
And look what I did with nothing.
Yeah.
Imagine you to have a little bit more, or we've already paved the way for that. So now they're looking at us. And so I'm always, every time I go on the radio or the news or whatever, I always represent West Texas.
But you've paved the way even before with the food truck, right? Because there was no food trucks out here, and you had to create essentially the permits and everything for the food truck so that the food trucks now that are out here because of the work that you put in too. So
it's kind of crazy because sometimes we get backlash of, oh man, they started as a food truck, now they're a restaurant, they think they're better than us.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all guys don't know, we fought the city and we were like one of the first 3 food trucks out here, and we actually sat down with the city to write the permits, the guidelines, the ordinances, the rules, and to make sure they're fair. Well, I'm sitting next to the city attorney at that time and saying, hey, now this rule is not going to fly. This is, some BS.
Yeah.
And if it was for me, I was already grandfathered in. I could have been like, cool, no competition.
Yeah.
No, make it as hard as that guy want.
Make it as hard as you want.
I'm already in.
I'm trying to get up. You know what I mean?
I'm out of here. Years, But no, I said, you know what? This isn't for me. This is for everybody else that's going to come behind us.
Yeah.
This is because if the food scene is blowing up and it's getting bigger and better, it makes us all better.
Yeah.
That makes the whole food. We all win. I like eating good food.
Yeah, for sure.
So we all win. So when we did that, for other food trucks that were coming up.
Yeah.
So now when food trucks are like, he don't understand this. When I do, we were sitting next to the city attorney coming up with rules.
Yeah.
The same rules you're writing now. Yeah. We helped them write them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if I didn't care about it or whatever, I would let them do whatever they want. But we went up to bat with them. We city council, we went up to bat, and we had so many legal fees. And my wife got a ticket. Well, the crazy thing is, my wife got a ticket for a food truck ordinance or whatever.
Really?
We went to go pay it. They didn't know what it was for. There wasn't no ordinance.
Yeah.
And when a police officer saw us there, he goes, "What you get a ticket for? Speeding?" I'm like, "No, man, check this out." He called it in. He goes, "Man, that's not
a ticket that we have."
Yeah, that's not on the ticket books.
Yeah.
He goes, "I think they made it new, just the city ordinance." And then we're like, "All right, well, how much is it?" They didn't know. They're like, "Come back in a week and we'll tell you how much it is."
Yeah.
Because it didn't exist.
Yeah.
And so all this stuff that we did and not a lot of people know about is we did it for the culture
Yeah.
and for the food truck scene
Yeah.
in West Texas.
Yeah.
So that's at the ultimate thing. That's what I'm doing it for.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for the culture and the food scene here in West Texas.
Yeah.
I want to see it grow. I want people to get motivated of cooking from out their house to know they can do it in the food truck.
Yeah.
Know they can do a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it's successful. And then know they can also get national spotlight and recognition. So this world is here for us to take. We just got to stand up.
You gotta take it. Yeah. I mean, because it's yours. Yeah.
I had a mindset. Nothing's impossible. I can do whatever I want. I just have to work my ass off.
Yeah. You gotta work your ass off to get it. Awesome, man. All right. So last question is, what impact do you want to leave on this earth?
Shoot, that's a good one. I think the impact that I want to leave is that you can always do good.
Yeah.
In whatever aspect that is. Having no money, having little money, having a lot of money. If you sincerely want to help a cause or a group of people or a charity, or you can always help.
Yeah.
And I've had that's one of my things of when we do these snowstorm like food and stuff like that, is I feel like my little girl, my nephew, there's gonna be a day when they ask me, like, hey, I heard it was cold as hell on this day, what do you do? Is like, well, we went out and helped people. We went out and helped people that didn't have the means to feed themselves or couldn't get out and do this. And so I don't want them to be like, man, well, if you didn't help, why do I have that? And there's a lot of times I feel like there's people that want to help. They want to affect the community, but they don't know how.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know, I'm for profit. I don't have extra money. I don't have, things that I can go do.
Yeah.
You can volunteer your time for West Texas Food Bank. You can just go volunteer your time. And then once you're there, you start saying, oh, well, y'all guys do this every week or every month. And you start getting more involved. And then they're like, hey, well, there's also a soup kitchen and a ministry kitchen. And so it gets you kind of out there with the community, and you start helping out. And all that doesn't cost you anything. It just costs you time.
Yeah.
And then if you start doing like church events or functions, and you're like, you know what, I have a little bit more money to give, or I can help out. You buy snacks, or it starts small. But every small gesture of kindness and help, you can do it. And that's ultimately that's my legacy to be, and for my daughter and for my nephews, and to kind of remember me as like, he was always willing to help.
Yeah.
There's no excuse not to help.
Yeah.
Help anybody in need, in whichever aspect it was. For me, it's cooking. I mean, that's what I do. It comes easiest to me, and that's what I'm good at. So that's why I've always helped out with the food.
Yeah.
But and even my little nephew, I take him with me when we do we do the soup kitchen. And what was cool is his mom would actually take him out of school to go help me, and and he'd be there serving food.
Yeah.
Serving, and so he'd see how people were being helped and took in the food, and how he was changing people's lives, and he didn't even know it. Yeah, and he goes, Theo, everybody loved the food. Theo, everybody was so happy, and this, and I said, see, Papi, I'm like, we could change the world. We just had to start small, and too many people want to start huge. I want to have a big.
They don't take into consideration the community that they live in first.
Even the smallest gesture, like buying one backpack, and going and dropping it off at the crisis center, or anywhere else, or going to a church, and saying, "Hey, Father, anybody has a family, that school's coming around, or buying an extra jacket, or getting rid of your old jackets." How many of us have pantries full of canned goods? That you're never gonna touch that corn. Let's be real.
The yams, you're not gonna eat the yams, man.
Anything with those yams, man. It's better for you to get rid of it.
For sure.
You put it in the house and you actually help out.
For sure.
People's house I go to, they have like spices like crazy. I'm like, you have all these spices and you still cooking bland.
Still bland. Ain't no seasoning in none of your stuff.
Get rid of all this stuff. Get rid of it. Give it away. You can help out. So if you wanted to do change in your community and in your life and everything, and I guarantee you never outgive.
Yeah.
Your blessings will come back to you. everything good, everything positive you put out will always come back to you.
Yeah. One thing I've heard is you can't be God given.
Yeah.
And you can't.
You can't outgive God.
You can't outgive God. But if I'm a big believer in doing it, not to be seen.
Yeah.
Sometimes people make that assumption that they make that they assume because you're on Facebook and because you're writing. Because you have videos and you show like a little aspect of like what you're doing for the community, that you're trying to be seen in like that moment. But it's like, I'm not trying to be seen. I just want people to see that, hey, there's a need in the community, and I want to help try to fill that need. And it's from the heart, and it's not because I'm looking to get something from it. I think if it's from the heart and you're not looking to get something from it, it always comes back to you 10 times as much.
And see, that's one of those things where I wrestled with.
Yeah.
For years, I've wrestled with that kind of how I get perceived.
Yeah.
Or how are people going to look at me?
Yeah.
People talking. Like I told you, I know people talking about that, and they're like, "Oh, he's just doing that to
boost
his restaurant, or boost his name up, or my ego, or whatever." And I sometimes I'll tell my wife, I don't think I'm gonna post this. I shouldn't post that shit. She's like, share it. Look how many people share it.
Yeah.
And people that need to see it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we look back at those, like, let's say that non-for-profit or that organization that's doing it.
Yeah.
They might have just like 1,000 followers on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you look at their ad and you look at that post that they made, and they're offering free food, or they're offering help, or they're offering something amazing, and only 3 likes.
Yeah.
And 4 shares.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, nobody's gonna see this.
Yeah.
The people that need to see it aren't gonna see it. So we get with them and we're like, hey, do you mind if we share your post and we'll donate, X amount of food or whatever else you guys. Yes, that'd be amazing. I'll share it. I'll post it, and it gets thousands of views and hundreds of shares. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, if I didn't do that, maybe these people wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
Whoever needed to see it didn't see it. Yeah. And then so I told my wife, because I would, because even in the Bible it says, when you give, don't talk about it. Yeah. I can't remember the scripture,
I know what you're talking about.
but that's what it says. But I'm like, yo, I'm using our platform, because even then, when I highlight a non-for-profit, we'll get people say, hey, that's amazing. We want to help. How do we help? Yeah. Whenever we shout out the Salvation Army, we took the food to Salvation Army. I was getting even some of my friends and family and people on our Facebook, hey, that's amazing. We want to help. Yeah. How can we go drop off food? Yeah. They need canned goods. I talked to the director. What do you need? Yeah. We need canned goods. We need instant lemonade or instant teas or drinks. And then when I went back the next day, hey, thank you so much. People came by and dropped stuff off.
And see, I think there's a level of like love when it comes to that, because I posted the snacks that you gave to me yesterday, and I got 2 people saying, hey, I want to donate, for the next coming up weeks for these snacks. If I don't post it, no one gives me the donations. And then now I'm able to keep it, forward and help someone else open up their hearts to be kind to a population that no one really is talking about, which is, kids who are underserved or who are in prison or in jail because of, things that they've done. But now I've opened it up for them to, to be kind and for them to like give back into the community that we all, love. So,
and so that's one thing that I always wrestled with. But I always found more good happens when I shared it.
Got you. That makes sense.
People want to donate. People get up, and we've seen some restaurants follow our model.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff they give away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's, fuck it. I'll take that criticism.
Yeah, for sure.
People gonna talk bad about me no matter what.
Yeah.
I said I'd rather them talk bad about me for some positive that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Rather than.
And they try to spin it to make it negative. So people can like look at it and be like, bro, you're trying to make that a positive into a negative, because why?
And people will spin it on and I'm like, all right, they can spin it.
Yeah.
I let them spin
Have fun spinning. Have fun wasting your energy thinking about me, because I'm not thinking about you.
I'm like, dude, if this was for nothing, I wouldn't be freezing my ass off.
For sure.
I wouldn't be busting my ass.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be.
You wouldn't be hurting your back, man.
I wouldn't be falling in ice. I wouldn't be losing sleep over all this stuff. I'm like, so they can spin it however they want. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And the people closest around me, they can see is genuine.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think more people nowadays are hip to the fact that you can spot when somebody's
No,
genuine.
you can spot someone fake.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
you can spot when somebody's being genuine.
Yeah, for sure.
It's coming from a bad place. Or,
Yeah.
hey, check out oh, by the way, my restaurant hours are so and so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it can. I don't want it to feel like a sales pitch.
Yeah.
I want it to feel like, hey, this is an act for crime. Like, this is an act for
this is genuine. I'm out here.
This if you need help.
Yeah.
You need to come here.
Yeah.
There's no reason you should, struggle for whatever.
Yeah.
And so now I think our Facebook has grown to like, it has some delicious food, but then they also post some important stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever you post a video, it's something important about, the community or whatever's happening.
Yeah.
So, I'll take it. I love the criticism.
I got you. Man, I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, that's it, man. I think it's a great conversation.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
For sure.
Yeah. Thank you for everything you do for the community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A lot of people should respect that. And it's beautiful what you're doing and what you do with the podcast and getting it out and getting hopefully guys more aware of their inner self and that we do need some help.
Yeah, we do. And it's okay to get help, man. And, if you want to be strong as a man, you have to be open and vulnerable. Not to everybody, but you have to at some point be open and vulnerable to yourself and then to the people that surround you so that they can help build you up or, push you to make you a better person or a better man. I've been called out. It sucks, but at the end of the day, like I want to be called out for the things that I am doing that can help me, in the long run, as far as fix issues that they see within me. So
I'd rather be called out early. Than be called out after I do something.
For sure.
Hey, you know what you're about to do. Or, this is wrong. And as a brother, I'm checking you. You shouldn't be doing this shit. And rather than afterwards, like, man, I should have told you.
I should have taught.
I should have told you. Instead, I'd rather come with you with the problems that I have right now before they can become bigger problems. Hey, man, now I need a solution. I'd rather ask for advice than a solution.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Asking for advice is way better than trying to find solutions for the shit you fucked up. I can tell you that right now. Been there, done that. It ain't fun at all. But yeah, man, again, this podcast is about having these conversations, talking about ways that men can be better, looking for ways to be high value men. A lot to unpack, man. There's a lot of things that was talked about in this podcast that I know for a fact will change someone's life if they listen to it, because there was just a lot of, great information that came out of it. So again, appreciate it. If you have not tried Curbside Bistro, man, I don't know what you're waiting for. Everything is good there. The sliders, the fries you got to try all the way. They even got Nutella. They sweet potato fries with Nutella, cinnamon, and and marshmallows. Everything there is just amazing. So if you haven't tried it out, man, you're missing a true gem in the community. So we appreciate y'all for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And for daily, motivational, and up-to-date content, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Excellence Above Talent. And remember, keep moving forward, never give up, and you are never alone in this battle. We'll see you next time.